Hello and welcome to a virtual session on toileting. Now in normal circumstances we would have invited you in to have a discussion about this where you can ask lots of questions and it'll be very interactive, but until then I thought I'd share it with you in the form of a video. If you do have any questions then please just send me a message using our Tapestry app, or you can give the nursery a call and ask to speak to Natalie, to myself. First off, I'll start off by saying that we're trying to change the way we see toileting, and the first step is to refer to it as toilet learning instead of toilet training. Now, toileting is a skill that children have to learn. It is something that can't be taught overnight. There's lots of things that you need to consider. It needs preparation. And we say that there are no accidents during toilet learning only lessons, so it doesn't matter, they form part of that learning journey with toileting. Now, children learn best when they're actively involved and are supported and encouraged to try again, which is a big part of toileting. They need to be on board with it, and it needs to be done in a very relaxed, calming way, and be seen as a skill that's being taught rather than something that's being trained to do. Now, every child is different, so what I'm going to talk about is just generic. So like I said at the beginning, if you do have any questions and you want to talk more specifically about your child, then please just give me a call or send me a message via Tapestry, and I can arrange to talk with you and have a chat through any questions or queries that you might have. Now, the first point is, do not feel pressurised to begin toileting. If your child is not ready, then they're not ready at this time. So don't be put off by hearing, oh, my child's dry, they go on the toilet, they go on the potty. It's really about your child, and every child is unique, and it's about teaching them when they are ready, because if you do try to do it too early and they're not showing those vital signs, then it can be quite a hard and difficult journey for both you and for your child. So how do we get it all started? Where do we start with toileting? It's really important, like I said, to wait until your child is ready. Now, by the age of 2, some children can control their bladder, but this is still quite early. But by the age of 3, children are dry for periods of time throughout the day. So the first step is to think about your child and what signs they may be showing that they are ready. So one sign is that your child stays dry for around 2 hours before having a wet nappy. So that's when you go to check them, you realise it's dry. That they have predictable bowel movements. Even as adults we have predictable bowel movements. So do they go after lunch? Is it first thing in the morning? It's tuning into those specifics for your child. They might be showing an awareness of being wet or soiled, so they might do this by going specifically behind the sofa when they need to have a poo, or they might actually say to you, I've pooed in my nappy. And they need to have an interest in the potty or toilet. So once your child starts showing these signs, then the next step then is to prepare them for toileting. Because it is very different. They're used to the security of a nappy. They can go when they want, where they want, and not have to think about it. So the first thing to do is to take them to the toilet with you, so they can learn what it's all about. They can see that it's just part of normal routine. You need to use the language that's involved. So whether that's you're going to use wee, poo, toilet, things like that, you need to use that language as well. I'm just going to the toilet for a poo, and keep it very open and relaxed, because what we want to do is for children to communicate with us, and that's really good. So while your child's in a nappy, you can talk to them when you're changing your nappy. You say, oh, you've had a wee today, or you've had a poo. You can even show it them so they can see. You don't have to inspect it fully, but you can just show them. If it is solid enough, you could put it in the toilet so they can see where it does go. Encourage your child to say when they've done something in the nappy and praise them for telling you, because it is a really big step. It's really important to involve them in the process. So let them choose a potty. Sometimes it is easy to have two potties, one upstairs, one downstairs. You need it as relaxed as possible. So the last thing you want is, because children do leave it till last minute, is that they tell you that they need the potty, or they need a wee or a poo, and you're then darting them up the stairs to get the potty, or you're darting them downstairs because you've left it downstairs from the night before. So it is a suggestion maybe to have two. Let them have a potty in the room so that they can explore it. Might want to use some role play, any toys that they might have, use their interest. So if they're really interested in dinosaurs, the dinosaur might sit on the potty to have a wee. Just bringing it all in very calmly and talking to them about it. You could see if your child wants to sit on the toilet during or nap potty during routine parts of the day. So you might want to try and put them on the potty or toilet when they get up in the morning, when they're having the nappy changed. Don't worry if, to begin with, they really don't want to sit on it. Don't force them to sit on it, because that can have negative consequences. Just do it in a really relaxed manner and just say, right, instead of asking them, do you want to sit on the potty? Right, say, right, in a minute, we're going to go and sit on the potty. And you see the difference there in it, where rather than asking them a question where they can reply no, you're giving them an instruction, but in a positive way. Just do it very, very gradual. They could choose some underwear, take them to the shop. They can pick some special underwear, whatever they're interested in, whether it's Peppa Pig, Paw Patrol, because that'll get them really excited about wearing something, and they've had a choice then in it, and it's not being directed by you. As quite often we know, sometimes when children feel that the choice has been taken away from them, that's when we can have some tantrums and some meltdowns. It is a good suggestion to buy the next size up, as what we want to do is encourage children to be able to take down their own underwear and their own pants. So it's always better to have baggy things on that they can easily pull up and down, because you're building that independence up. Visuals. Visuals can be really good to help children remember the steps that they need to do, because there's quite a lot of steps involved when you go into the toilet or the potty. So these are broken down. Some might not need these because they might already know, but if you would like a copy of the visuals, if you just let me know, and then we can print some off. So this is obviously before, and then this is obviously after, and I do have them with a potty as well, so it depends on what you're using at the time. So it is trousers, this is a simple one, trousers down, potty, white, trousers up, but we can break them down as much as we want, depending on your child's needs. Rewards, verbal praise is the best that you could ever give your child, really saying, oh, well done. If you do want to go down the route of giving stickers, and you want to use that as a reward system, then it needs to be given straight away. So it's not waiting, if you say it right at the end of the week, if you've not had any accidents, you can have a toy, because children live in the now, and that's a very long time in a child's world. And if you want the reward to work, it needs to be given then. So if you want to give them a sticker for sitting on the potty or the toilet, it's well done now, you've sat on the potty, here's a sticker. Never take a reward away from a child, because that has a negative effect, because they got that reward from doing what you'd asked. Don't, if your child has an accident, just try to remember to stay calm. Like I said before, this is a skill that they have to learn, and what comes with that is they will have accidents, and that is how they are going to learn how to use the toilet and the potty and know when it's time to do that. It's very important when you start toileting that you are consistent. Don't be tempted to put them back in nappies, as this can be really, really confusing for your child. Now, when you are ready, and you have to be ready just as much as your child has to be ready for toileting, you need to go with it. So that means no more nappies. It also means no pull-ups, because pull-ups, the only difference between a pull-up and a nappy is that you can pull them up and down. If the child wheezes, it still soaks it up. It doesn't give them anything different. They don't get any different sensation or anything. So it's definitely better to go straight into underwear. Be prepared. So I'd advise buying cheap clothes. Be prepared for those accidents. So like I said, it's part of the learning process, and it will help your child. You know, if they do have an accident, it's just calmly saying, oh well, good try, we'll try again next time we'll try and get on the potty. So your child can think, well, I have had an accident, but it's okay. So then they're not getting upset then when they do have an accident. It's okay, let's aim next time to get on the potty, you know, and it's all remember, maybe next time go a little bit earlier. Reminding your child to go to the potty or toilet throughout the day will help. However, be very careful not to remind them too often, because again, like I've said, it's a learning process. What needs to happen is your child needs to form connections from the brain to the bladder. So they need to feel like we as adults, we get that feeling when we need to go to the toilet. And that is what your child needs to develop and form those connections. If you keep taking them too frequently, what they learn to do is to just sit on they don't learn to have that full bladder and feel what it feels like to need to go to the toilet. They'll just try and push it out when they're on the toilet, and they'll end up having smaller wheeze, and it'll take longer for them to form that connection. So we advise reminding every hour and a half is normally a good time, just to prompt your child, maybe build it into routine. So before you have lunch, let's say, right, let's try on the potty, things like that, which will help. There are things that you might be worried about as an adult, you know, well, I'm going on a car journey, I'm putting back in a nappy. What I'd suggest is think of different ways you could do it. So you could put a towel underneath your child. They could sit on an open nappy, so they're still wearing their underwear and pants. So if they did have an accident, they would still feel that sensation, but you're saving your car seat because it'll be caught in the nappy that they're actually sat on top of. So it's just things like that, maybe just to have a think about. Like I said, the most important thing is that you're relaxed about it, understand that it is they are learning a new skill. It will take time. Even children that have been that are toileted and they have been for a while, some children that are 18 months or been doing it for 18 months will still have the occasional accident, and that's okay. You know, that's what we say here, it's okay. Same with likewise when they're in nursery. It's a very different setting to when they're at home, and they do get distracted. Children do get easily distracted, and sometimes they do leave it to the last minute, and by the time they get to the toilet they are having a little accident. But it's fine. It's all about them learning and making those connections from the brain to the bladder to know, oh well, I should go a bit earlier next time, don't leave it until last minute. So if you do have any questions around toilet learning, then like I said, please ring nursery. You could speak to your child's key worker when you drop off. I have got some packs ready. If you would like a pack, then please let me know, and I will get one of those printed for you. But until then, bye bye.